Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the CGL T4 EU Final. It's the Troglodytes, the hope of the Underdark, versus Nexus, the pride of France, here today, or tonight, I guess, on your CGL channel. I'm Corbeck, joined by Soev Danem, and we have an exciting match lined up here for you tonight. Soev, you got any information about these two teams?
Sure. Both these teams are fresh straight into CGL. Troglodytes, no real experience coming out of this, but Nexus have been winning big in the French circuit, apparently. So they're looking like a team that could come into CGL, especially from that third seed, having to work their way through, while Troglodytes got a bye. They look like they're really hungry. They've earned this spot, and they're ready to go on and show that they are the champions, not only of just CGL, but the champion Overwatch for all of EU, in theory. Avec le six, as they say.
Six, yeah. I think maybe PS4 will want to have something to say in the matter, but for now, at least for this next, let's say a week, they do have control, so that is good. Speaking of control, our first map will be Lijiang Tower, and obviously Koth, kind of the great leveler in terms of skill, and I don't know. So what do you think we see these teams run tonight?
As we know, this is EU, so Brawl is king. We're probably going to see a lot of Rein Zarya. There's a lot of open space. Maybe we get a Pharah or two, but if I had to guess, that May McCree that we've seen in the higher ranks have kind of been showing down here too. So we may see a couple McCrees, maybe some hit scans come out, but I think we're just going to see a lot of big boys running at each other, Corbeck.
Well, it is a style, and an enjoyable style indeed. For those of you who are unfamiliar, Tier 4 in our context here on console would be Masters, Masters, High Masters, maybe low GM sneaking in there. I don't remember the exact level caps, but an exciting matchup. So not quite the tippity top of the pyramid, but definitely a higher skill level, and we will expect, as you said, so to see some sort of meta run. I think with that, we're probably ready to get started. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, let's go on in. I can't wait to see this first match. Let's see what the Troglodytes can do and keep themselves above the French Nexus.
So this is Troglodytes map pick starting us off here. They had their choice from the map pool of some control maps, and they have gone with Lijiang Tower, the classic. Looks like we're getting started on Night Market here, and interesting, we have right there, that's KRFA on a Sombra. What do you make of that?
KRFA's Sombra might be there just to kind of get that scouting, maybe get ahead. The J-Wizard Sim is pretty standard for this course, and maybe you're expecting that you can try to get a couple hacks on the Sombra, maybe cut some of the turrets out of the way, and keep yourself that advantage going in. Maybe that's just what Nexus needs there.
Well, J-Wizard throwing up the teleporter immediately. That'll get them straight onto the point. The turret's already coming out here. Nexus did not go for the teleporter option, so they will be brawling straight in through the front door and straight into the car wash. Just firing these giant energy orbs down the pipe there. So deadly when used correctly. Oh, but an early pick there. Crimson Shat is down, and Vard is down as well. Here comes Schneisel over the top, looking for an early pick here on the Sombra, and Nexus cleaning the decks right there.
Yeah, really, the Sombra and Kefra on that Sombra was the only one to fall. You're not too worried. You took both the tanks early, and this Pharah pick really does seem to be paying off for them. Even with that pharmacy, is still very strong regardless of where you are.
It sure is, and you can see this Pharah is playing on the outside edge. Now back over to Jackie Boy here, trying to push in, is hacked almost right away. That Sombra being a bit of a pain there, and KRFA dueling a little bit with Jackie Boy here in the back line. Neither of them can quite land their shots. Jackie Boy will survive, but he turns around in the barrage.
The barrage, a three-man.
Oh, it was indeed Hugo Jupex swinging the hammer in celebration right there.
Yeah, to get that kind of a fight on just that free barrage, honestly, you lost the McCree, was too busy distracted with that Sombra, and that was exactly what you want if you're Nexus. That just cleared that space open for the Pharah to come in, just clean up and win you the fight for free, go into the next fight. You only have Shatter, but there is that wall in play from J-Wizard, so we'll have to see how that impacts with Shatter.
Jackie Boy getting a couple more shots in. Once more, the McCree, the target of the hack here. But back on point, Crimson is pushing forward. Does have the Shatter in the pocket should they choose to use it. The barrier is out, but Puff already down in the back line, getting caught out there. Crimson will go down as well. And finally, Jackie Boy will get the better of the Sombra. Got it. He'll get the high noon in there. Jackie Boy investing a lot right there, unfortunately. So I'm not for a lot of gain.
Yeah, the solo high noon probably didn't need to go there, but I guess that sends the message home. Your Nexus managed to maintain that, and they do have EMPs in this upcoming fight, and that's enough to win it on the low, but they're coming back in hard.
Oh, Fabian getting pressured out here, throws a grab almost in desperation. The team pushes up, shatters into that as well, and again, the kill feed lights up solid red. Ooh. The French holding strong here, not giving up any ground.
Yeah, they threw in the EMP, and that's all it took just to win that fight, but that was a very aggressive play. J-Wiz are going to swap off to a Sombra of themselves, though. Might be a little too late. There's only one fight left. I don't know that you're going to get EMP in time if you're Troglodytes.
Troglodytes trying to push back in, but Crimson will be met in the mid-ground and burned down. Fabian now burning out the McCree as well. That high charge Zarya, so much to contend with in terms of raw damage. Jackie Boy did get a pick. We're back over to point. Schneisel trying to get one in, but he can't over the sound barrier. The res does come in. Iron tries to get it back in the f***ing does. Schneisel is up and trying to fight. Jackie Boy now playing on the outside edge. There's lots of bodies here for the Troglodytes trying to hold on to this point. One Zarya looking like she bathes in nuclear waste right there. Unfortunately will be burned down. And finally, a flip.
Troglodytes finally got themselves on the board. It cost them a lot, but at least they're still in it for right now. They go into this next fight. Maybe they'll have that high noon to keep them going, but Kalnath does have Nano, and whoever you drop that Nano onto is gonna be a threat. And all it takes is one fight to win and flip it for Nexus's favor here, Corvette.
Indeed. Well, Jackie here playing a little cautiously towards the back. Does have that high noon in the pocket, so I do believe we'll be seeing that any second now. Gets a couple of perspective shots in there. There comes the high noon looking for the Mercy. Can't find it. It's heavily shielded. He's looking for targets. Still can't find anything. 1 second left on the draw. He's not able to get the play. Oh, hits him with the flashbang and takes him down. He's going to take down the Mercy here as well. No, he's not. Carafe comes in. Big save there to help out their Mercy. What great heads-up play. Unfortunately, Crimson is busy annihilating the Winston on the back, or annihilating the Reinhardt on the backside. Schneisel taking all the damage, will not be able to hold on, and it remains in Troglodyte control.
It's great awareness. You wanted to get the value. Jackie Boy really wanted to try to get that value out of the high noon, but in reality, you trade that if you can take the Pharah out of the sky and take that pressure off your team. It kept that space and that ability to give Crimson a lot of control there. Coming to the EMP from Kefra, though, that might be the big playmaker here.
Kefra does get that right there early on, a hack to just shut that down. EMP before! Oh, J-Wizard with the play, but the team not really actually cleaning it up. The EMP coming back on the other side now as well. Nexus charging in. Crimson down early. The barrage comes over the top. That's Puff taken out of the action. Another attempt from a hack there, and Carafe just trying to shut down this Lucio, stop him dancing around the point and contesting. They will flip. Jackie, the only one who can touch. Jackie burned down. Oh, no, last minute save. I didn't get to the end of it. J-Wizard does manage to get on, and that'll set up Crimson for the Primal. Oh, they keep going here. Crimson dancing around. He can't quite hold on. What about this stall game? Are we seeing Peter Sob? They're not giving this one up.
No, they're coming in. Every single one has just been able to trickle in just until this last moment, the bomb to celebrate. But they just managed to trickle it out just until the end. But really, Schneisel was just not contested there. And you're unfortunately just trying to survive. And that's what happens when you let the fire just go uncontested. They're just going to rain those bullets down on you, Korbeck.
Well, they certainly are. But, I mean, I guess based off of that first map, what are your initial thoughts here after the first brush, let's say?
Troglodytes really struggled with that Brawl comp. I think if you're Troglodytes, you stay on these Winston comps. You looked really great there, and it almost paid off for you for the most part. I think maybe if you can get there and kind of negate the, maybe you have to, if you get yourself that point set up a little bit sooner, it might not even hurt to bring in something for Schneisel on that Pharah too. Maybe you bring in a soldier or a second hit scan, but we'll see what they decide to do, Korbeck.
We will see indeed. We get started here with the Pharah already up. Schneisel once more taking to the air there, firing in a couple of rockets early on. Doesn't quite find, I think, what they were looking for, but that's okay. It's the thought that counts. They'll continue to keep the pressure up there, and they will finally secure the pick. And J-Wizard, who does go down with a little bit of help from Carafe. Now the group backing around through the white room. The fight continuing, a great boot play air as well. Takes the McCree out. That's the end of the hard counter, and Farah's going to play close here. Schneisel, more than happy to just chase these kills up.
You're in a tough spot if you're Troglodytes. You have the Echo to kind of assist in the air, but you don't really have any support with Lucio Moira, and it looks like they're going to make some wholesale changes. They're going to try to the Widow. I guess it's just too much of a problem on that Pharah that they have to look for a really, really hard answer, and you see it there. They're just going to try and hard scope. Jackie Boy does get him!
Oh, what a shot. What a shot. The Pharah taken out of the sky. Schneisel will be res back in, but of course that is the Mercy's resurrection out early on here. Jackie Boy just throwing out the poison mine there. A little bit of a pain. J-Wizard will go down. Crimson trying to play aggressively into this D.Va and this Reinhardt, but struggling mightily in the effort. The bubble does come down. Crimson somehow still alive. Meanwhile, a duel on the backside. Schneisel going for that Widowmaker. The Mercy help, and Iron secures the kill with the blaster. Oh, and Puff The lone Moira just trying to finish it off, but Schneisel is there on the hunt. Inescapable.
You gotta give it to Iron there, who has the good game sense to know when you've got the 2v1 lockdown. You can just go ahead and bully this Widow and let the Mercy clean it up. You can give your Pharah a chance to get in there. Going into this with 5 ults, it's gonna be so tough for Troglodytes to really come back and put this. All they have is Coalescence. They're gonna get the sound barrier, but it may not be enough when you're staring down the barrel of 5 ultimates on the other side of Nexus.
Well, Jackie Boy looking for some shots, but shots. Up in it, barrage! Oh, bomb as well. Oh, they did use an awful lot of ultimates there, though. A lot.
They threw everything at that. Did we need the EMP also? I'm not sure about that. You might want 1 or 2 of those back, but you know what? You're into 1 fight territory. Nexus is probably feeling themselves a bit. You're not too worried. There's 1 more chance to stop it, and you've been pretty dominant here, so you might feel comfortable with that.
Well, the Schnott's continuing to fly right here. A good hack there on the back line. That's defending. Out. Oh, he won't be able to do anything now. Schneisel gets another boot kill. That's hard. Taken off the back of the map. Crimson popping the primal, just trying to contest here. Absolute desperation time for the Troglodytes. They have no choice but to keep the fight going. Crimson can't survive, gets the bubble down, but there's an angry German man swinging a hammer in his face. And that is the end of that. The sound barrier comes in, won't save them, won't preserve them. And it looks like curtains here. The first map. Whoop! Spoke too soon. Still going.
Nope. I was about to say that if they can hold off, Jay almost has the EMP, but I don't think they're going to make it at this point. And I think that's going to be the end of it.
That's it. Well, the stall game from Troglodytes has been something else tonight. I will tell you what, though. But an exciting their first map swing for Nexus, taking it 2-0 on Lijiang Tower.
I'll be honest, Corbeck, I was kind of expecting Troglodytes to come out with a little bit of an edge. They did come in as the 1 seed, but to see them really just kind of get outplayed there. That Pharah from Schneisel just really outplayed them. They needed to do something else. Maybe you swap in the D.Va there to help deal with that. Maybe you pick up a second hit scan. I think if you need to be aware of that going forward for whatever your next picks are, because if that Pharah can just run through the skies uncontested, that's going to be a big problem for Troglodytes.
Yeah, you know, it's strange because I agree with you. I would kind of expect the Troglodytes to have a bit of a lead here, as it were. Unfortunately, it didn't really work out that way. Nexus doing a great job kind of just shutting down the play and pushing back and forth right there. It does look like our next map will be King's Row, so the potential for the Pharah is still there, solved, but probably not as likely.
No, and I mean, who didn't see King's Row coming? Whenever we get the chance to a hybrid 90, I think 9 times out of 10, we're going to see King's Row. You can still run the Pharah here, but I think there's way better opportunities for other heroes to shine. I know that this is a lot of people like the Widow, the Hanzo here. And we did see a couple Widow flexes, so maybe we'll see some of those come out. Maybe we get another weird cheeky stim strat out of this. It's going to be an interesting take to see what comes out on both sides for this, Corbeck.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. I mean, obviously, too, it's a map that does favor that Ryan Zarya combo quite heavily, right? One of the few maps probably that really is just Ryan Zarya territory. And then obviously we add, you know, the potential for a healer like Moira is very good on this map if you really want to use her in a pure brawl standpoint. I do wonder how that's going to impact Troglodyte's gameplay, because when it came to the Ryan v Ryan matchup, Sov, I definitely feel like they did not have the edge right there. It was really the tanks from Nexus who were winning those fights.
Yeah, hands down, Nexus very clearly had an advantage in that brawl fight. Troglodytes looked good with that Winston, but it needed a little more coordination to really make it shine versus that brawl. If you're going to go in versus that Ryan and that Zarya, who has that protection and who's getting the support, you're just going to have a rough time trying to play into that and keeping the space you're trying to take. So if they really want to try to figure out how to break this comp, they need to get behind them and force that brawl to separate a little bit and open those weak spots that might appear.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, it is a bit of a big ask, right, for Crimson on the Winston to kind of a frontline duel with both a Ryan, a Zarya, or even a Ryan and a D.Va. And we didn't see a ton of support coming out from the off tank, but obviously playing the ball, right? So you wouldn't expect him to be positioned in a situation where they would be providing assistance. Definitely Nexus setting a bit of a high bar here. Now, we say that, right? So, but that first map was relatively close. Or first stage, I should say.
Yeah, the reality is the scoreline doesn't show that at all. You know, it's 1-0. Even if you watch that, you might have thought initially that, oh, it was you know, held for 99-0 for most of it. But the reality is those fights could have swung either way for the most part. There were a couple very decisive moments in there, but a lot of those fights could have gone either way, and most of them, you know, by the end of it all, it was 99-99 for the most part.
Yeah, it was. It was only when we got to Control Center, I think, where things
really-
got a little, or not Control Center, I'm sorry, Garden, where things got a little out of hand. Yeah. Oh, I don't know how I'm confusing those two. They do look quite different at the end of the day, but I think we're waiting on the ready up here for the teams, and as soon as we have it, we'll get started here on King's Row. So the EU finals go to Europe, which is exciting and perhaps appropriate, all things considered. And then, of course, after map 2, we will take a brief intermission and get back into the action after that. So Troglodytes with the banner set high, and again, we are seeing on the other side now Hugo Jupix coming out on the Rhine, and Fabian Warrior here on a Winston.
Okay, you know, there is some high ground in this early capture of point A that maybe you're concerned about. Maybe you're trying to just make the chaos with the Winston to give Schneisel that continued space that they've just been dominating with there. But the May coming out from J Wizard is what I'm staring at here, because that's going to be a very, very interesting take from there. That's the easiest way. If you want to talk about the best way to separate a Rhine and take away that power and that support, that's the easiest way to do that.
I mean, she is an ice demon after all, and we'll see if she can get the isolation on Hugo and make his life just a little bit more difficult. Schneisel here over the top, trying to get some early damage in. They don't really have much of an answer for this farm. Iron with the pocket too. Schneisel just firing away, and they're already on point. My lord, there comes the Maywall. Early kill there on Jackie Boy. Over the top, it'll be Puff next. Puff down as well. Little daughter on mother violence right there, and they're just shredding them here on the point song.
Yeah, Schneisel just there's no contest for Schneisel here. You're only, what are you gonna do? Point your Ana up in the sky? They need to worry about keeping your Reinhardt up, and that's just unfortunately just gonna cost them the point there. And it's also gonna give Nexus already most of the nano boost. While me on the other side, we have Jackie Boy just coming, still a little bit of a ways from those dragons. Not looking. Schneisel also already has barrage. You're in a great spot if you're Nexus.
Yeah, Schneisel looking like the cat that got the cream right there, no doubt. He got a great start here on this map, and a quick take as well. They're going into the street space with 5 minutes, and here comes Schneisel with that barrage. Schneisel looking for the opportunity. Oh, think unleash a punch as well. Oh, the value that this man is getting. Somebody stop him.
I mean, you know, there's always the statement that, you know, your main tank is supposed to take the space for you. But like, who needs that when you just have a fire that's just absolutely, you know, dominating from the skies uncontested? And when you're looking at it, Iron's gonna throw in that Valkyrie. Just give her the extra support. They're already, is the car still moving with one on? They've just got control of the streets phase already, Corbeck. There's nothing they can do. They own these streets right now.
Troglodytes are definitely reeling here, getting punched in the mouth by this far, and they're kind of continuing to give space here. Schneisel really cannot seem to be stopped. Now, Jackie Boy does have the dragons in the pocket here if he chooses to use them. He'll fire out the storm arrows there, just getting some poke damage down. Vard now pushing up here on the Sigma, trying to give him a little bit of space to contest, but somebody has to touch that point. 4 minutes, 25 seconds on the clock. They do have the dragons if they choose to use them, and you feel that Jackie Boy setting up for it. There it is, point blank dragons going in. Sound barrier out, but Kasama already down. Jackie Boy flinging the corner here, going in with the storm arrows. Did not secure the pick. The shatter does come in, and they will surge forward. Great anti-nade. With the echo down, they should have secured that contest, and once more the speed of this Nexus team is something to be envied.
The swap to Orisa Sigma here is interesting. You're trying to get yourself centered if you're Troglodytes and get yourself to a point where you can actually just hold your ground, and they're just not giving that space. Already, Kefra's already just taken out Jackie Boy on that Widow. There's not giving them the chance to set up and even set up a defense here.
These DPS for Nexus just doing whatever they want. Of course, as I say that, Schneisel does get thrown down. Unfortunate. Schneisel will come back shortly. The res does go in. Great bubble there to keep Iron aloft while the res goes off. J Wizard doing their level best here. There comes the barrage. They won't get any value out of it this time, though. Jackie Boy on the quick turn, and now J Wizard has cloned the Pharah, trying to do a little bit of flying of his own. Unfortunately, no luck there, and also a beautiful cut right there. Headrammer, I should say. Over as soon as that ended, Crimson Chad pushing up to the corner and just securing it here. Crimson is hacked, but nothing to write home.
No, they're going to try and draw that out and see if they can get it. They've thankfully managed to set up, and Troglodytes put themselves in a good position. Not a lot going forward into this, and with Kefka having that EMP, this could be the part where everything falls apart right here, Corbett.
1, 2, no, not quite there. Oh, he's gotta do it soon. No, he just wants to go for Jackie Boy. He's gonna pop the head instead. Oh, a little bit of risky business there for KFA, to be honest. Fabian Warrior, though, more than happy to push up. They do have this Reinhardt Zarya combo coming out burning right now. Schneisel, of course, on the high ground. There goes the AMP. The fight boiling around the point, but there's nobody to contest. They'll walk that one in with 4 minutes and 3 seconds on the clock.
Nexus just looked severely dominant there. I don't know what happened to Troglodytes, but maybe you just got off on the wrong foot. Maybe you weren't thinking to expect the Pharah there, but maybe it's just, you know, maybe that was just a bad run. Maybe you turn around and turn this back if you're Troglodytes. You run what your set play is. You know what you're going to do here. You've played King's Row probably a million times, but I think the bigger picture here is you need to have an answer to that Pharah right now. If that's not apparent, I don't know what else is, because otherwise Schneisel is just going to keep running game on everybody, continuing. And if they get into the barrage pre-fight, it's just going to be a full hold. You don't, and no one wants to see that, Corbin.
Yeah, you're right, and I think the real tragedy is too. This is Troglodytes' map pick, right? This is supposed to be their opportunity to reset the boards after that initial kind of ugly clash, and instead we're looking at a situation where Troglodytes are having an even harder time of it than they did on Lijiang. This is nothing short of disaster on the defense.
It looks like they're going to match the Pharah there, which is an interesting take. They do have the Baptiste for a little bit more support, which I do like. Giving yourself Immortality Field is going to be great versus those barrages. Great to support your Rhine in the front there. So that may be a change to the one. Never mind, as I say that, I'm curious to see what Jay Wizard does on this Pharah, because maybe pulling the attention away is going to be the difference maker here, Gorbeck.
Yeah, Schneisel back in on the Pharah, of course. Carafe coming out on the McCree. Jackie Boy taking an early hit there, goes down to about half health, will get healed back up. Jay Wizard now just trying to play aggressively around the altar, with firing those shots up. Melted Carafe combined with a rocket hit, I think, right there, to just take the Pharah out of the sky. A massive anti-nade coming in from the back line as well, and they'll just surge forward. Goodbye, Jackie Boy. Good night. No, not a good night at the theater for him, I'll be honest.
I'm not sure about this tank lineup, Corbeck. You're running the Sigma Orisa, but you tried to play incredibly aggressive there, and your tanks just can't keep up. You have no speed to really move them forward to try to take that space and set it up that Jay Wizard on that Pharah is trying to take. And I don't know, maybe it'll work in the long run, but I'm a little hesitant on that, Corbeck.
Well, Carafe painting a bit of an outline right there. Jay Wizard not quite able to land the hits. Jay Wizard now fires a perspective rocket at the other Pharah, and then immediately focuses on the ground target. The tanks are separated here. The window just came out, and Hugo is melted right there. Fabian Warrior goes down as well, so the tank line for Nexus deleted right here on the first point defense. They're going after the Pharah now, and with a vengeance, will die, and that might have just stabilized things.
That did it. You force the tanks to fall, and that's already the biggest part of the front line there. Just gonna clean up that McCree too to really kind of oh, never mind. Just as I say that, they get picked on the way back. Oh well, but they've got control anyways. So either way, you're just cleaning up right now, and it's nice to see that Jay Wizard can put that same pressure out on that Pharah. Really would have hate to see the Troglodytes just kind of roll over here, especially given their pick. They're coming into this fight about even on the ult economy too, which says a lot for them. They didn't spend a lot too much to get there. But as we see the sprays come out, we're just going to hope for the best for Troglodytes. Hopefully they win the sky battle here.
Yeah, Hugo, I think, nearly got killed right there. They invested a lot of resources to get their Reinhardt out of danger, which, I mean, you know, you like to see. Jay Wizard does have this barrage, and he's very cheeky about it. Unfortunately, he'll turn the corner and go straight into the other far. Now he's in the middle of the enemy team. Oh, that was a little bit of a dangerous situation right there. Carafe the high noon off, but it's canceled out by the barrage. Jay Wizard taken down, and now a barrage from Schneisel, who gets one, but the Gravitic in on the back end of all that. Throwing Jackie Boy's high noon right there as well. And why not a nano boost? Why not at this point in time, Swift?
Yeah, you've already committed everything. You really want to make this stop. You know that if you let this keep going the way it is, you're just going to get rolled just like you did to them. And Nexus have done, if nothing else, they can slow it down a little bit. They're going to try and get that Rhine out. But I'm not sure if they're going to be able to, Corbeck. Jay Wizard's relentless in this search right now.
Jay Wizard on the hunt there, firing in a couple of perspective rockets, not quite finding the picks that they want. A very narrow escape there. I believe that was for KRFA. And you'll see that concussion rocket coming in there as well, just trying to see if he can get the cheeky environmental. Oh, no. That'll be Fabian taking some significant damage, and Fabian's cut off from rescue right there. KRFA now trying to push up behind their Reinhardt. Fabian does get the healing they need. The contest will come in here. Nexus not going to give this up without a fight. The concussion rocket being surprisingly little. Whoa, that was a nasty direct hit. Unfortunately, they can't finish it off. Meanwhile, Jackie Boy has been taken down by Fabian Warrior. Jay Wizard now just trying to get the better of this aerial duel. Farah beat Farah, though admittedly one of the Farah's not interested. Jay Wizard point blank barrages, it means nothing. Schneisel and KRFA combining for some major kills to turn that fight around.
Yeah, and the fight, I mean, Nexus will hold it out here. It's worth noting they swapped the Zarya to the Sigma here. I think that might just be to get some shields out there, maybe get a little more span damage on the floor to try to counter out and break some of the shields a little faster. That does help them versus Jay Wizard's Farah too, though. You can point that up there and buy some space. But going into this fight with 4 ultimates also gives them a lot more space to work too, whereas on the other side, you're coming into 3, so you have a little bit of an advantage if you're Nexus going into this.
Nexus does have the barrage in pocket should they choose to use it. A nano boost deployed here as well, so they will actually, I think, hold on to that barrage as Hugo Upix goes big on the front line, gets all those kills. My lord. I want to say it was 4 or 5 kills there. Yeah. He's just swinging away.
It's amazing what happens when you put some support into your Reinhardt and just give them the resources to go. Sometimes you win a fight with just I think that was only the nano maybe invested there, looks like, from Kazama. But yeah, if you can just give those resources and win a fight off of 1-0 ults, you're happy with that.
Yeah, it is shocking what a giant angry man in armor can do with a hammer when you inject him with a mysterious cocktail of chemicals. And we'll see KRFA popping around the backside here. No, he gets defending, but I mean, that's a huge pick, but that's easy. Taken out of the action early on. Jackie Boy gonna try and clap back with sneaky high noon of their own. Unfortunately, I think gives up the dream right there. Oh, he slept. Oh, he's pooped as well. They're all there. Oh, Jackie Boy.
Oh, no. Oh, and the lower ranks, we call that the main tank experience. Oh my goodness, that's every CC you can see there. We call that the main tank experience. You get slept, you get pooped, you're getting knocked around, and Kefra just had a bad time there. There's not much to be said. Troglodytes do have come on. They've been holding that supercharger for quite some time, Corbeck, and I don't know if they're just waiting for the right moment or if their Orisa's just not getting support for it, but you've been holding on to that for a while, and you probably could use that to put the pressure out. There, just as I say that, it comes out.
The beatdown bongo is down, and Jay Wizard immediately getting a pick there on Schneisel. They do lose Crimson beatdown bongo almost immediately. Schneisel res back in by Iron. Fabian Warrior up on the high ground, but Jackie Boy getting 2 big kills there with the high noon. Still, he hasn't quite evened it out as much for his team as he would like. Jackie Boy actually getting sectioned off over there by the defenders. Fabian has no choice but to back up. Oh, the huge kinetic ground right there, keeping the Sigma alive, but not for very much longer. Finally, Troglodytes makes their presence known and should secure at this point.
Troglodytes managed to get a couple very early, it looked really bad, but they managed to turn that around. That 2-man high noon out of Jackie Boy really gave themselves the presence and maybe the game sense to just be like, we can do this, we can hit this, we've hit 2, this is our fight to win, let's take it and do it. And just as they turn that corner into B, this is going to be the real test coming up into here, because they're coming in and they swapped to the Diva now. They've given up that Sigma. I guess they're really getting sick of Jay Wizard on that Farah right now.
Yeah, Jackie Boy there just trying to get some shots in. Did get a mighty hit, but it's defending who will die first. KRFA!
Oh, the Pharmacy!
2 big kills. Good night, Pharmacy. And now Fabian Warrior just pushing it to finish things off.
That's big on yourselves. If you can let your McCree just not worry, just take care of the Pharmacy on themselves and not put those resources over there, you can dump it into the main fight, which against this double shield that you really have to kind of just push through and quite honestly muscle through, you're going to have a much easier time to get it. Keeping this Pharmacy in check is going to be Troglodyte's key to get it.
I think Fabian got sussed out there, but Schneisel who goes down early on. Wow, 3 kills there for KRFA, the DPS for Nexus. Once more making the big plays. That'll be 4 there on the fight. Going for another one as well. He will not be responsible for the death of the Mercy, but he was close to it.
Yeah, Kefra's really come into it here. I don't know what happened, but it looks like they started to feel themselves pretty strong. They're popping off. They're already almost to another high noon. They only saw that maybe a fight ago. Jay Wizard going to the Asher, realizing they're just pressured out. You're coming into 4 Ls for Troglodytes. You've got at least the resources to win this. So maybe they'll get it forward on this fight. So that
Out comes the window, in comes the shots. There's a barrage there as well. Schneider will go down. Carafe, though, immediately answering back, trading out the difference. J-Wizard with a lovely little kill right there. We'll start to push forward. The Gravitic invested here as well. We'll get them some more kills. Puff reses Crimson back into the fight. Crimson returns the favor by getting an immediate pick and finishing off Consuma as well. And they'll continue to push forward here. Jackie Boy playing aggressive.
That's the kind of aggression you need if you're going to make sure you complete this. You've only invested 2 ults for Troglodytes, so you've got a lot coming and still a lot of resources. And J-Wizard's almost already to a bomb within that one fight. J-Wizard's really still been doing their best. Devo now coming in, though!
Oh, no! Oh. Big booms clears the utility as well, but he gets Jackie Boy and J-Wizard right away. Carafe!
Oh.
And clears the deck. And Nexus takes map 2 in the series.
Nexus really asserting their dominance here. They're trying their best to show that they came in, they're representing France, they came in and they're here to win. Viva la France apparently, because they are keeping themselves in the high point, especially coming in from this 3rd seed. I don't know about you, but I still wouldn't have seen, if you told me we'd be 2-0 from the 3rd seed, I wouldn't have believed you, Corbeck. I would not have believed you.
Especially going into Troglodytes map pick as well. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Troglodytes have come out of their cave and found the surface world to be a lot scarier than they thought it would be. Nexus surging ahead 2-0 here. We'll be right back with more Overwatch action in this T4 EU final for Xbox after this break. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the T4 EU final for Xbox here on the CGL. Nexus surging ahead here over the Troglodytes 2-0 as we get ready to go into our 3rd map, which will be Temple of Anubis. I'm Corbeck, joined tonight in the casting booth by Sov with Headrammer on production. And thank you so much for joining us this evening. Sov, what do you make of what we've seen so far?
Well, they say, Corbeck, that space is the final frontier, and it's very much shown that if nothing else, these guys are the masters of space. Nexus has been really pretty dominant, all things considered. But as we go to Temple of Anubis, I'm kind of concerned, Corbeck, because Troglodytes have been struggling against Nexus's Pharah there, and I'm not sure what the thought process here is, because this is a great Pharah map. Maybe you're hoping that one of your Widow or Ashe players can turn around and keep the picks coming to give yourself a strong defense. But I'm interested to see how this plays out. Maybe this is the start of maybe this is just the change we need to start this reverse sweep to come around and keep us all the way to map 7. I'd love to see that. I don't know about you.
Yeah, indeed. I think it's going to be a bit of a rough map choice. I think we both agreed on that while we were in the break, right? It's a map that gives Pharah a lot of play. I mean, we've already seen King's Row kind of turn into a disaster. That was their map choice as well, Troglodytes. Hopefully they have some strategy on Temple of Anubis where they can kind of turn this around. I think out of all the maps that we've seen so far, all the maps in Overwatch, right? Temple of Anubis is one of the ones that lends itself the best to kind of canned strategies. So maybe we'll see some sort of canned, God only knows, Bastion, Teleport, 6,000 IQ strat coming out from Troglodytes. But oof, yeah, could be putting themselves in a bit of a sticky wicket, as it were. And I think we're ready to get started here. So let's queue on into the map and see what we've got going.
Like you said, there's a chance we see some maybe interesting Sim Bastion strats. This is also the home of Junkrat. One of the more constant places we see a Junkrat get played. And though I see no Junkrats on either side so far, I do see Hikaru on the Ashe, looking like they're gonna set up and kind of prevent that. Jackie Boy back also on the Pharah. Looks like they're doing, and that was a good matchup to kind of keep Schneisel over on the opposing Pharah distracted. So maybe this combination of pressure is just enough. They did have a lot of success with that Orisa Sigma combo. So maybe this is just that super good bunker they're looking to keep and hold it down. Baby Hugo over on the Widow, though, not afraid to take that sniper duel, looks like. So as we get started and rolling on this map, Ball Diva. Okay, we're going to go a little bit divey here, Corbeck. I like this for point A.
Yeah, it very well might work. Of course, Hikaru here on the Ashe going to be the one who can counter Schneisel the hardest. See already the ball moving into position. Speaking of countering Schneisel, there's some initial shots right there. Hikaru dropping a little low, though. Dropping real low. Somebody might want to help the Ashe there for a second. Okay, the heals do come in. It's got Baby Hugo to worry about as well. You see those shots coming out from the Widowmaker, and Hikaru's going to decide that maybe the high ground, not the greatest place to be. And Puff dying early there. Fabian Warrior getting an excellent pick in on that. Jackie Boy trying to stave things off, but unfortunately without the mercy, the damage a little bit capped here. The aggression already coming in. Vard taken out of the equation as well. Baby Ugo had a lot of room to manipulate. Does die to a post-death shot from Jackie Boy, but not enough. The surge from Nexus just too much to overcome.
The Troglodytes got really split there. You could kind of see it in the background as the Orisa was scrambling off that high ground, Corbeck, that they just didn't have that cohesion there to kind of finish out one or two of these targets. You're so focused on trying to keep Schneisel over on this Widow contested, and it suffered everywhere else. Corbeck, it's unfortunate, but that's going to be the end of point 8. Ball's coming in to recontest, though. As it saved that note, buy him a second or two, not enough.
Did die at the tail end of that fight. Jackie Boy claimed the kill on the Echo, but Vard immediately traded back out by Ugo Jupix. So a bit of a shame right there, as Hikaru just backing up to the point here. Doesn't want to play too aggressively into the Widowmaker, and can't really blame him for that. So if I'm honest.
No, and Tank. Oh, a big pick on the card.
Goes for the mercy, goes for another one. Jackie Boy with the quick response, though, shuts it down on the Echo. Still Vard down again, and there goes Jackie Boy as well. Schneisel all over him. Hikaru got slept, insult to injury. Alone Baptiste jumps on the point, and it is devastation.
Nexus just went into point B with so many ults prepared from that very decisive fight, and Troglodytes made that swap really, really interestingly to hog ball, which was strong a little bit a while ago, but I'm not sure what the thought was there. Either way, it didn't pay off for them. 2CP is such a punishing map, as we all know, Corbeck. We all hate it, we all don't like it, but it's here for now, and we're going to play it the best we can. And Troglodytes need to step up and play the best they can if they want to keep themselves alive in this series, Corbeck.
Yeah, Troglodytes absolutely reeling on the back end of that one. I mean, that was shades of King's Row times 1,000 right there for them. That aggressive sort of lightning fast style of attack coming out from Nexus. All the kills going their way all the time, and that has got to be hammering on Troglodytes' mental as well. You have to think that.
Especially because this was your pick. Sure, King's Row didn't go your way. Maybe you're thinking, all right, we've scrimmed, we've put the time and energy into this. We think we can counter this really well. And then to just get rolled with almost 5 minutes on the bank, Corbeck, that's got to be disheartening. You know you need to come in with such a strong hold here, a strong attack here if you're the Troglodytes. And Rhine Diva looks like what's they're gonna try to push it here. Jackie Boy over on the Echo. I think you're still trying to figure out what to do. It looks like never mind. I'm sorry. They're gonna play a similar ball Diva. Maybe try and keep that aggression as quick as they can. Put the resources into the Echo to give themselves that advantage as we start this.
Now, baby Ugo here on the Widowmaker, already prepared and ready to be deployed. See if they can get an early pick. They'll be relying, of course, on Schneisel on that Pharah as well. Hasn't been quite as dominant as he was on King's Row, but still very much a factor. Ooh, a shot from Ugo, unfortunately, does not claim a pick there, and they will be able to secure the rotate over to that right-hand side of point. Schneisel going down early, and the res might not be possible. Of course, Bard, once again, the victim of an early kill here. They do, I think, try to get Iron in for res. It does not happen. Jackie Boy with the beam there, finishing off the Mercy. That's 2 big picks here to start. Ugo can't do much here. The Echo right in their face. Jackie Boy ducks down, grabs the healing, and we're back on to Hikaru now. Hikaru trying to push forward here on the McCree and just secure some spacing, and they might have actually done this, Swab.
Yeah, they took it. They came in just with that aggression right away. They're just going to take the time. Jackie Boy's just going to clean up. Don't worry, guys. Jackie Boy's got this. Let them take care of all this. On that Echo was the great choice. They really made a key pick there in getting Schneisel early. The stalls are going to come in, but I think they'll do better here. Really picking Schneisel early there, and then following that up, knowing that the Mercy was going to go for the rest, was very, very clutch for them in keeping and securing that fight, Corbeck.
Very much so, and Troglodytes coming out with their "we didn't hear no bell" right there, so they come out blazing with 5 minutes to take. Now let's see if they can muster up a better attack here for the much harder backside of this point. Jackie Boy going in for the clone of the Diva, just trying to build up the bomb as quickly as possible. 9 seconds left, taking a fair amount of damage here. Still has not gone down yet, still doesn't have the bomb either. So close, will not be able to secure it. Pops out of the mech into Baby Diva form and out to reset, but a Schneisel with the barrage on the back line, making Puff's life a living hell back there. Puff somehow manages to survive that mesh as Iron gets taken down instead. So the wrong support getting traded out there from the perspective of Nexus, and the fight continuing to boil. Hikaru there trying to shut down the D.Va, backing up just a little bit, giving them some space as Crimson does go down. There's the D.Va bomb over the top. Hikaru, woo!
Barely got out.
Fabian still gets 2 and signals the end of that right there.
I think if you're Troglodytes, you're okay with that, though. You forced a lot of the ultimates that might have had there without really committing a lot of your own. You're going into this with Nano, with mines. You can have the space, you can make it. But Baby Hugo over there does have EMP, and if you've done any tracking, you know that that's gonna be available soon on this attack. So maybe you're feeling good. Maybe you push hard. And I say that Schneisel goes down early, but it's rezzed.
All right, Hugo waiting. Detected there, accidentally runs into Jackie Boy, gets out of the way and just gets out of dodge in general. Does have that EMP ready to be used. The EMP doesn't quite come out yet, goes for the hack on the ball instead, can't quite make it stick. Now Hugo back over, trying to get that hack in again, but it's Jackie Boy once more, this echo. Oh, just a painful mosquito always there at the worst possible moment. Jackie Boy does go in for the clone, unfortunately can't get much done with it. Jackie Boy taking some serious hits too.
Yeah, and Jackie Boy's been doing this a lot without a very strong Mercy pocket. On the other side, Schneisel had that Mercy, that Iron on that Mercy pretty much stable to them. And that's kind of the difference here, is that you can put the resources elsewhere, but like such into Crimson just before he gets hacked there and dies out.
Oh, the fight's still going here. Hikaru does have the high noon should they choose to use it. Time is ticking down. They've still got plenty to play with. Var does get an early kill on Kazama. Kazama, a name that we've rarely seen the kill feed, just hasn't been dying. Schneisel rotates out. Here comes the D.Va bomb. The EMP goes in as well. Baby Ugo, unfortunately, only turning around 1 kill there. Jackie Boy taken down at the spawn doors by Iron. Baby Ugo will be taken out on the back end. And man, they just are not disengaging here. So they just continue to fight.
They really want this quarterback, and it's hard to say if this has paid off for them. They're committing a lot. They've committed Nano. We have the electric cowboy out there. Does get one with it, and it's paying off. Hikaru is really putting in some work. There's another hammer right there.
Hikaru gets 3. Hikaru turns around, goes for another one. Can't quite find any. Does. Fabian taken out of the fight as well, and Hikaru might have just opened things up here. The engagement with the Tracer, the two of them just dueling underneath the bridge. The Tracer does have the pocket. They both have pockets. Look at that play. Look at the McCree go. Hikaru, an absolute
right now. Those clean headshots just really saved you the game. You just got 2 for free right away. And as he demercs the D.Va, you're really coming in. Throws in the high noon just because.
Oh, tries to get the high noon. Cheeky high noon. Doesn't quite make it stick. They've taken such a majority of this point already. They just need to finish it off. Hikaru will not stop firing. Goes for the Mercy. Can't quite stick it. Goes for the Tracer instead. Not able to find those kills. Zoning him out pretty well, though. Somebody does have to jump on and touch. The bodies are there. The contest is in. The ball was rolling through as well. Jackie Boy gets that clone of the D.Va once more. Again, trying to build up to that bomb as quickly as possible. Fabian Warrior completely taken out of the fight. They'll take Baby out of it as well. Now Jackie Boy just more than happy to do damage. Here comes the D.Va bomb. They can send that sailing in. They don't even need it.
No, and it's Crimson, meanwhile, while this is going on, is just raging on in the background. Gets 2 on jump packs. Not even focusing. Now, you're not even looking at the giant monkey coming at you. You're too busy watching Hikaru just come around and just click all the heads he wants. It was a good turnaround there, and they've got a smaller clock, so maybe if they can just make a repeat, Corbic, they can push this to another time around.
Yeah, you know what's funny is you don't see the old electric cowboy, as it's called, very often, and even less often do you see it get significant value. But Hikaru took that and ran with it and got some major picks, and the absolute cleanness of the flashbang double headshot is something that I think that's a highlight reel right there for sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's something a textbook McCree player would dream of being able to hit. I wake up and from that, and I'm just happy to know that I was able to click those 2 heads from 1 flashbang. That's just value, and if you're Hikaru, you're feeling yourself right now. And
all
just as he goes to the Genji, yeah. If he, as I say, he was about to go to the Genji, but I don't think you give that up. You're playing really well with your Hikaru, especially given that now Schneisel's you've got Schneisel on notice with that kind of a performance too, I think.
Yeah, but don't you feel as though he's going to have a little bit of a hard time keeping up with this dive on the McCree? McCree is not a dive hero.
Oh, no. That's an interesting choice there, coming in from the Winston and that D.Va. But you did have success on it, so maybe it's, sometimes it's the things that are a little bit obscure that don't seem to make sense that work the best. You have a couple counters to everything, you play well enough, and everything goes your way.
Well, a great dynamite there from Baby Ugo to start things off. They'll get a significant amount of ult charge out of that as well. Oh, defending, caught looking. It's the Viking crew cut right there to start things off. Schneisel tries to engage in a little bit of aerial combat there, all of World War I. Doesn't quite find it. Turns around and takes Crimson out of the equation instead. And you can't blame the reflexes there on the far at all. Great turnaround. Schneisel dropping in, looking for another pick, firing some rockets rather speculatively down the choke, but nothing to be had yet so far.
No, they're still being held pretty well here, and this is just the opening dance, isn't it? You know, you build some ultimates, you get a little pressure, you vie for space. And right now, if you're Troglodytes, you're okay, but you're not too happy. Maybe you're just waiting for Hikaru to get that opening pick or two to really make really go forward. Giving them a lot of space here though, Nexus. They've given them that right room for free.
They have indeed. A dive does come in from Crimson, much more on the Winston, just trying to put pressure on. Instead, the pressure applied straight to his face. Crimson does go down. Hikaru returns the favor by killing the Bob there, and Fabian Warrior actually in some serious danger, has to jump back up and just re-secure some healing. The two Divas dueling it out right there. They're actually going to body block Bard in and just try and finish him off. The Baby Diva does go out. Maybe it takes a hit from the stun. Still going. Hikaru gets killed before he can do too much. The barrage coming in from Schneisel there, and it is a solid one indeed as Fabian Warrior finally hunts down that Baby Diva. The fight's still boiling here in the kill room. They haven't quite ended it yet, but I think with Puff going down, that is hurt.
Fabian Warrior just putting in the rest of the cleanup. Although they were going to make a buy for the point, maybe you kind of have, you're running out of time, you really got to make that point, and at least you push it to OT. You have a couple ults in the pocket if you're Troglodytes, so you can maybe do something, and let's see if Jackie Boy and this copy Ash can do something.
He does get a pick right there, but an Eva Bomb coming in here as well. They'll nano boost the Echo for you. Jackie Boy, unfortunately, not contesting the point.
No, as they say, as Papa just always says, you got to remember to actually be on the objective when it happens. If you don't, well, your turn's over. That just leaves Nexus with only a third. I think it's a third. Did they get any tick on that? That is just regardless, they just need to cap part of A, and that's gonna be the end she wrote. And with 5 minutes in the bank, they can take their time if they want.
Oh, Jackie Boy, the point is calling. It's overtime. Get on it, mate. What you tried to do up there, but unfortunately didn't quite work out, I think, the way they thought that it would. 4 minutes and 52 seconds to get a tick on Anubis' first point is, well, we'll put it in the category of doable task, will we, Stoab? I think that that's where it belongs.
Oh yeah, this is, I think in another case you might even just sit on the Sombra, build an EMP in your casual time, go in and just win on that. But it looks like they're gonna opt to play probably the same aggressive style they have here. They're gonna take the Winston and the Diva, that aggressive dive that really, that I guess kind of took a prominence here. Meanwhile on the other side, Hog Diva, no, I'm sure Vardown's gonna swap off of that. I'm sure we're not gonna see Hog Diva here, are we, quarterback? That can't be right.
Vard right there, not in a position to switch off the Hog, and well, Crimson's not in a position to switch off either. Baby going
I guess we're going on this.
Hit right out the floor. Yeah, you know what? Fine. Sure. You're down almost 3-0. Just throw whatever you got.
Yeah.
It's time for all the strats.
Yeah, maybe this is something that worked in a scrim. Maybe you're expecting a little bit more pressure on and some more shields. Maybe you're looking to punish the dive here a little bit harder. Did I say that the dive does come in?
And Hikaru does back right up. Gets a hit with the dynamite, so starting him off with a little bit of damage right there. 37% to the Bob, and Yuko Jupex actually did die early on. Iron follows it. Baby clapping back there, but the trade's coming too little too late. Oh, never mind. He gets defended. He gets Hikaru as well. Oh, Baby with some big kills, and that's going to slow those respawns down. That was a nightmare scenario.
Yeah, you've just now opened the door from Baby Hugo getting those two. That just opened the door right back up to get it. And now that you have sights, you can just keep everybody in check if they even just step out of position in the wrong way here.
As I say that, though, Baby Hugo can't keep his tanks alive right there. Schneisel does manage to take Vard out of the equation, but the fight's still going here. Jackie Boy now on the point, just contesting in the corner. Jackie does nearly have the duplicate should they choose to use it. Defending Master is back as well, so Ugo's success there is kind of preset. Schneisel gets a pick, dies immediately. The resurrection does come in to get the Ana back on the fight. Now Jackie Boy with the clone, pressing forward on the D.Va, just creating some space, going hard in the paint for the Ana, doesn't quite find it. Hikaru shut down before they can do anything. D.Va Bomb comes in from the dupe, no success there. But Bard and Jackie Boy combining for some big kills towards the end.
That could have been really, really tragic there. And as Bard does go to the ball, I wonder if that hog was the initial pick. Maybe it was something to swap into earlier. It was. I don't know where the nano from Kazama ended up, but they died shortly after getting it, and that was a very, very clutch pick for Troglodytes there. And they're holding pretty well, Corbeck. I have to say, I'm kind of impressed.
Indeed, 2 minutes and 45 seconds here left on the last ditch for the folks from Troglodytes, holding the entrance to the cave right there. Iron does have the Valkyrie, and we'll see some shots coming out as Defending uses their Valkyrie here to just keep this fight alive in the early stages. The dive coming up there, not really landing quite the way they wanted to. Fabian Warrior actually getting stunned in some serious danger. Snizer trying to support their D.Va just a little bit. D.Va gets taken out of mech. The bomb does come in. Oh, Crimson dealing. Defending gets killed. Fortunately, his teammates trade right back. Jackie Boy and Bard getting in. Hugo trying to even things up there. Hugo Jupex pushing forward on the ball. Gets Hikaru. This might be the breakthrough. It might be all over here for the defenders. Crimson on the high ground. Takes out the D.Va. Drops back in. It's just Crimson trying to hold on with the D.Va. Throws the bomb into the air. Oh, no value. Prism trying to hold on still, waits for some support to get back in, and it does look like he's got Defending back in on the Lucio. Unfortunately, Bard rolls in and immediately dies. Fabian going in here on the Baby D.Va, just trying to finish the cutting hole. Minefield comes in too. They continue to fight. Jackie Boy's clean up some kills. Jackie Boy's asleep. He can't do anything but watch. He'll dive in on the point with the duplicate. He keeps going. Jackie Boy's got to make something happen here. He's cloned the D.Va. He's trying to hold them off. It's yet another D.Va contesting the point. Hikaru won't even be able to recontest. They just keep going. Jackie Boy trying to fight this one out as Schneisel takes Defending out of the occasion. Jackie Boy sends the bomb up, sends it sailing, takes Iron out of the fight. Jackie Boy stalling. There's the D.Va back in. Hugo does get the pick. Schneisel in on the action as well. They're still going here. They're just not giving it up. The Baby D.Va, the last one alive. Oh, and what a defense by Troglodytes. They got heart, so Ab, you got to give them that.
This Troglodytes team is scrappy, and this is why I love them. No matter when it comes to overtime, if they're defending the point, they have done their dangdest to really put their all into making sure they don't lose if they can. Even if it doesn't come out of it, they stall these fights out for 1, 2, 3 minutes. I think they almost burnt out most of that 5-minute time bank, really, by the end of that. So just transfer that into the rest of your play. Take that energy, that fight, and bring it around, because Troglodytes, you need that now more than ever. And if you can do that, you can keep yourselves going and bring that reverse sweep live.
Yeah, I mean, it's rough in a way, right? Because they just keep getting blitzed, right? And these early defenses just keep getting blitzed, and it's just so rough. Like, it's just hard. They can't really, quite seem to come up with a good answer to those early aggressive pushes, and then they do finally stabilize, but it's only in overtime.
Yeah, Nexus has been playing so aggressive this whole time, and I don't know if you're just not prepared for it by the time if you're Troglodytes, but eventually you find 1 or 2 things that work. You know, you put your resources here, you put your resources there, but by the time you finally get a pick and take the value, you have too many resources in your pharmacy, your tanks fall, you have too many resources in your front line, everywhere else falls. You kind of need to figure out that balance of where you can really put your time, energy, and utility, Corbeck, before you really break this Nexus team. You also need to consider maybe just punishing this aggression a little bit more. If they're going to throw everything at you, maybe you sit back, play a little bit more passively, and say, sure, when you go a little too far because you think you've got this, let's just turn that right back around on you somehow. And maybe that's the answer they need here.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, our strategy department here as casters is a little limited, right? We can't pick the lock on this match, and I dearly wish we could, because I do feel a bit hard up for Troglodytes right now, considering they came into this the 1 seed, and they have just taken an absolute shellacking here across these maps, but not for lack of trying. As we said, I mean, the stall defense we saw there on Anubis was legendary. I mean, it was beautiful.
Oh, it was very good.
Crimson and Jackie Boy together, just cloning the diva all over the place. But it's just not, it's just not enough at the end of the day. Yeah.
There are moments where teams pop off. Jackie Boy has a moment where he pops off, gets a great copy, goes. Hikaru literally carried most of the team to point B and that completion. And then the moments just kind of pass and they're not there the rest of the time. You got to keep that consistency in your team to keep yourself going forward. And it looks like we're going to Havana next. Okay.
Yeah, indeed, it does look like we are going to Havana, which to me sets off alarm bells yet again, Soav, because it's a pretty good Farah map for some significant portions. And Farah has been kind of the problem for a lot of this.
I mean, they've managed to contain it a little bit here, but I think they need to do more still. I think they need to solve a couple more bits of these problems if they're going to really take the advantage they have now and, just keep themselves. They need to find that. They need to find that key. They need to figure out what it is that keeps this Farah on the ground, out of their size. Force that switch. I believe it was, who was their Farah there?
Jack.
I'm blanking on the name. It was Jackie. No, the other. I'm sorry, the opposing Farah.
Oh, Schneisel.
Nexus. Schneisel wasn't incredibly impressive on that tracer. I understand that was probably not a first pick for them, but if you can force them off of that, that puts them in a weaker spot, especially when you're not playing those comfort picks in such an important map.
Yeah, I mean, Schneisel has been a beast on the far all night long, hitting big plays. He was a little quiet, I think, on Anubis, but I mean, not in such a significant way that you would notice, right? We still saw them getting involved, and I guess maybe we bank, right, on some long sight lines on Havana, giving you the opportunity to maybe pick them out of the air before they can do too much damage. Maybe that's the thought process that's going in here, but we won't delay any longer with our not pontificating,
our postulation.
That's a good word. Our prophesying, right? We might as well be reading the flights of birds for all the luck that we're having right there. And ooh, Nexus, something a little nasty over there in the spot.
Okay, I like this. The part of me that enjoys weird, stupid strats and is a gold player loves this. I don't think we're going to see it, but I really want to. As much as I would love to see a Bastion pirate ship go out here, I don't know that we're going to. Meanwhile, the Troglodytes, pretty much par for the course for them. J-Wizard swapping over to tank here is worth noting. Picking up a Diva slot. And J-Wizard was absent, I believe, on that last map, and they were playing very well, so this may be a good call from the Troglodytes.
Yeah, indeed, baby. Baby Ugo comes around the corner and nearly dies. He saw his life flash before his eyes right there. No joke. Ugo has to play back behind the truck there, taking significant damage. The team does start to go forward, but it's J-Wizard who loses the mech early on. Oh no, Vard is taken out of the equation as well. And once more, the Troglodytes reeling backwards. The light of the overworld is just too blinding for them.
They use that immortality field really early, and I understand the aggression came, but you really want that later, as we're just seeing them get focused out by Baby Hugo. It's good to use that aggressively sometimes, but you got to make sure you win when you use it aggressively too, is the other part of that.
Jackie Boy trying to just stabilize the lines here. Bard's back in as well. They've already taken so much space here on this initial push all the way up to the ticket booth. There's really not much more they can do, but just try and slow the push down. Baby Hugo already sitting here on this high noon. Out comes the high noon right away, and he'll take Puff out of the equation. Puff, she got caught looking there in midair and was brought down. Bard quickly following their mercy into the grave. It's all the pressure. This lightning fast, never let up style from Nexus once more striking here on Havana.
And they're just going to chase out Hikaru, who managed to get two there. Just going to chase him out, yeah. Just going to chase him out to really complete it. There is still a little bit of a contest, but I think this is, for the most part, a wash, it looks like. They just had a really good, strong push. Even though they were met at the door, they came in knocking, and they were sure pushing in, just walking into the house like they owned it.
Hugo now pushes up here, just a couple of perspective shots. Again, aggressive McCrees have been one of the themes of the night, and Baby Hugo getting a ton of value for the aggression, nearly up to another high noon. My lord, the shots just keep coming in, and now Carafe on the backside here, nearly with an EMP as well. Gonna just pop up and invisible, do a little bit of scouting there, looking for something. Wizard on the high ground, engaging with a little 10-on-10 on the opposite Diva. Quite find anything to be had out of it. Now Carafe still sitting here with the opportunity to hack, goes for the Diva, can't quite find that either. It's just been a couple of sort of backs and forths.
What a
What a placement! Oh, nothing! Oh, that was either bad luck or great play on the other side, but it certainly scattered them like a fox that just come into the hen house. They're all over the place right now. Hikaru on the high ground, though, doing a great job of just trying to stall this out. Unfortunately, probably not enough. As I say that, though, Iron does go down. Baby Hugo quickly following there, and they might just have managed to turn that around despite that Diva Bomb.
Nexus had the tools and a lot of those ultimates, and that Diva Bomb, like we were just saying, looked really good. It's unfortunate. They're going to save the rest of those for the next fight, though, and I think they're just going to take the regroup here. But that gave Troglodytes the opening. You know, Jackie Boy does come in, have that Bob basically ready to go. Hikaru's been holding that high noon, and this is anyone's fight at this point. This is a great turnaround and a great hold from what could have been a really, really rough start for Troglodytes.
The Trogs are not done yet, and I think we might have seen a Bob deployed into the midst of this hell as well, and there's fire everywhere. Oh no, Jackie Boy dies though with the ult on the field. Hikaru pops the high nuke too. Great play from the McCree, and that kills the attack dead right there.
You gotta give it to the Hugo pair there, because the Reinhardt missing that charge that came in from the Reinhardt really actually set the two back in. It got both the Baptiste, I believe it was, and the other McCree. It really set them up to do that. That's some great quality teamwork from Nexus there. Whether it was intentional or not, I can't tell you, but that worked out perfectly for them. I'm sorry, for Troglodytes, worked out perfectly for them.
KRFA does have the EMP here, could choose to use that at any moment. I feel like that moment is very much in the offing. Go. There it is, big EMP. All 6 members take it in on that one, and the pressure comes in immediately. Baby Hugo not going to waste an opportunity like that. Diva Bomb does come sailing over, but it's too little too late. There is still contest on the card, but oh, it's just cleaning up the stragglers now, isn't it? So that fight is done and dusted.
That fight was done when it hit all 6 in the EMP, and Baby Hugo just walked in and took 2, and that's what you're looking for when you're playing this aggressive kind of a brawl comp. When the EMP comes and you know they have no utility, no way to deal with you, hammers swing, shots fire, fans hammer, and everything just goes wild, and you take the picks you can get.
Sombra hasn't been as much of a staple, right, in the DPS meta. Man, a well-played Sombra is probably the most annoying thing in this entire game if used right. And we're seeing a clear example of that coming out from KRFA. If we're
absolutely. Sombra, we all know it. Sombra requires so much teamwork, but that's the high quality of teamwork that you expect at this level to make a Sombra work, even if she's not in the best positioning. And Kefra has been proving that right now with that Sombra and being able to make those kind of big plays. That sets the rest of the team up for that great success.
Well, Jackie Boy swinging the corner right there, getting some shots in. Does have the Bob in the pocket should they choose to use it. Speaking of which, everybody's favorite robot Butler rams head first into the point. They pay him for that, don't worry. Good dynamite over the top there as Hikaru collapsed back there on the Widowmaker. Baton going down, and yet another name we haven't seen very much of just because they haven't, the supports have just not been pressured for Nexus. Oh, speaking of pressure though, somebody's just invested a nano boost and Bard surging in to secure the defense.
You said it yourself. We haven't seen a lot of Baton or Iron in that kill feed. If you just let your opposing supports never die, your opponent's never going to die too. Those are the bottom, you know, the main support, as it were, of the opposing team. If you can get them isolated and get them there, you can do it. But they do have both supports on the side of Nexus, so that may be a game changer here as opposed to the Troglodytes.
Oh, no! Jackie Boy defending both dead. J Wizard loses the mech as Fabian Warrior surges in to try and clean up. Vard didn't do anything on the outside edge, but died to KRFA with a little bit of help from Ugo, and that is that was a set piece if ever there was one.
Oh, absolutely. Just as I said, there's a great amount of teamwork coming out of Nexus here. Be it the EMPs, that Shatter Bomb was such a great, well-executed play, and they need to keep their notice on everybody here. Is Baby Hugo just gonna go ahead and click 2? No big deal. He's gonna click 2 from the window.
It keeps coming. Iron pops the sound barrier here to give them this recontest. The Diva Bomb dropping in there as well. They'll take the Diva and charge her before she can get back in the mech. Oh no! Nexus just all over these defenders. They can't do anything, and the cart comes reeling to its conclusion with 1 minute and 16 seconds left, and the cracks are showing in the Troglodytes.
All right, side Corbic here. It's only a minute and change. That's a very reasonable time bank. It's not the 5 minutes that we saw on Anubis, so that means you can still win this if you keep a good run and you dig hard enough and put your heels in deep enough. You can get there with that time or more. But Troglodytes really need to make something clutch, and maybe they have a set play for this. I know some people have odd plays and odd reasons they take these maps. I'm looking at Troglodytes to come out with something big in their minds, some big teamwork play to come out and maybe give themselves an advantage here that they haven't, that Nexus just is caught off guard by.
Ready for battle.
You would hope, right? You would hope that Troglodytes can find something, and I will admit to you, Soav, there was some spy. I mean, there's been spying the entire time, but there was some steel spying in that defense, right? We saw a couple of really good holds from them in the factory or the distillery, what have you. They did a great job of holding them up there. They did a relatively good job of holding them for a little bit on the streets as well. But in the end, it's just Nexus just overcoming. That being said, I mean, what do you make of these choices on the side of Troglodytes?
Interesting. Jackie Boy maybe predicting there's not going to be the Pharah, just going to go ahead and try to keep the skies on their own end covered. Maybe you're looking at that. Everything else here seems pretty interesting. Sigma Hog is an interesting take. A little bit less needing resources, but doesn't give your McCree that much cover. Curious to see how long they stay on that with Jadez and Varda out there on that point.
Oh, Bard taken out almost immediately. Just as you said his name, you did it. You cursed him. Oh, you hate to
you're
see
gonna
it.
give that up right away. Yeah, you're gonna give that up right away. The Hog was not. It was a good thought for Anubis too. You're at this point, you might as well try everything, right? You've got nothing to lose.
You've got to. I mean, this is it, ladies and gentlemen. Do or die time right here. All hands on deck. The ship is sinking. It needs to be bailed out. They need to find the way to do it. Hikaru throwing the flashbang up there, just trying to deter whoever was up there on the high ground, perhaps. Second, great anti-nade here onto Fabian, but they cannot confirm the kill on the Diva Mech. Instead, they'll go for the Somber. Somber translate gets the last second. Carafe gets away. Good little bit of Dr. Seuss rhyming for you right there. No boosted shatter instead. Oh no! Hugo Jupix all over the place, all over everyone. Maybe Hugo follows it up with the kills from the McCree, and the Nexus dominance continues in fine fashion.
And that's you can have as many shields as you want, but they won't stop you if the angry German man just walks right on through while they're electric and just slams the hammer down. There's not much you can do about that. Hugo Nubex has just been dominant on this Reinhardt, taking the space wherever they desire it to be, and they need to put an end to that too. High New coming out.
And he watches, he waits, he holds it, he wants something. He hasn't quite found anything with it yet, and that's okay. We call those zoning ults. Zoning ult. He's looking for the Tracer in the back line, can't quite find it. A little bit of pressure there, finally being put on iron, but Hikaru, both the supports down. Bard finishes it up as well. Hikaru still in this action, and they'll search for it. They might actually get this first point off of that.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the end of that. There's maybe going to be one or two recontests, but it looks like that's going to be the end of it. And just searching out the Sombra, trying to pressure him out. Jay Wizard on the Sigma, looks like he's going to get some help from Vardown. Yeah, that's going to be the end of that. They're going to chase this deep, it looks like.
Iron taking some serious damage here to start things off, but Iron and Baby both combining for some kills there. Unfortunately, it won't save them on that first point. That does continue to roll forward right here. Baby Hugo firing off these shots, just trying to slow things down. The wall comes up and does accidentally, I guess, separate off Bard. This Tracer, though, in the midst once more, just causing absolute havoc. Working their way up to another pulse bomb as Jackie Boy, as Baby Hugo just holding on to this high ground. The contest is slowly coming up here. Baby Hugo playing behind the Rhine Shield. The Diva Bomb in, over the top, gets one. Jay Wizard. Goodbye, Sigma. Iron taking out of the action on the other side there as well. Unfortunately, the kills just traded right back out by Baby Hugo, doing a great job before being taken down by Hikaru on the opposite number. And just utter devastation here in the distillery.
Yeah, Nexus won that fight without investing a lot. They had a lot to invest, but they chose not to. Meanwhile, Troglodytes really just coming up short on the ult economy there. All you have is that nano going forward, and maybe you build the Pulse Bomb or the High Noon for the rest of the way to push it. But with Trance on the other side, you know something's going to get negated. Couldn't complete that kill though on the camera.
That's the second time that Hikaru has not managed to secure the kill on the Carafe. Meanwhile, in the midst of all of that, Iron did win the duel with Jackie Boy in the backline. We're looking towards absolute ult fiesta here as Hikaru gets taken down early. Baby Hugo does have the High Noon in the pocket should they choose to use it. Transcendence coming out there, I think, just to save the Zenyatta from a Pulse Bomb stick. It does that, and you'll see the High Noon coming out. He gets one! Bard! Taken out of the equation right there, and Baby Hugo will push right up here and start to put pressure on the Sigma. just holding this high ground position. Oh, he's got to be a little bit careful though there. So nearly lost his life in the attempt.
Hugo, Vard just didn't really know where to look. There was a lot of pressure coming in that, and you can kind of see it through the high noon. They kept flipping, they weren't really sure, and that's the kind of pressure you need to put on these kinds of Reinhardt comps. If you can keep the Reinhardt guessing to where the attack's really coming from, you leave them open to something. And it looks like they're going to try and defend. Nexus is just going to defend out of that room again, making it really, really tough to walk into.
The temptation of J-Wizard here, he will unleash the Gravitic. Can't quite find where he wants to place it, decides he'll go for the McCree. Can't finish him off either. The healing was just there to keep him up. Now J-Wizard lands in the midst of everything. Gets immediately pressured by these two tanks trying to keep it going. J-Wizard firing off those spheres, but the kills are happening all around him. Oh, the tanks were so focused on killing the Sigma, the rest of the team just died while they were doing it.
Yeah, Nexus's tanks just fell to try to contest the point, and once they did that, you just left your entire backline open to basically just get run on by everybody else. With J-Wizard really being the only one thinking, I can confirm this kill, you left it open, and that's just a mistake that you paid for by giving him up point B. Hopefully there's not a need to do that forward. It looks like Hikaru's gonna looks like Hikaru disconnected there, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was weird. Hikaru is back. So,
thankfully we don't have to see those DCs, so we just unfortunately get to losing that. Unfortunately, he lost high noon there, which is really, really important there. Yeah, that could be super, super important in these final fights.
Baby Hugo here does have a high noon, rolls back a little bit, just a little bit of space, and there it is. The shield does go up. The target's not giving themselves into the midst. He does try and pick off the McCree there. Hikaru will roll into cover right away. They're still fighting hard here as this Diva Bomb goes sailing up into the air. Perspective, unfortunately, doesn't really find anything. Now the pressure coming out from J-Wizard here, pocketing their Reinhardt as Jackie Boy eats the Pulse Bomb, and Jackie Boy's Pulse Bomb gets eaten, and the Jackie Boy himself gets consumed in the back line. Baby Hugo will die. But that doesn't seem to slow down anything too much here. The defenders really putting on the pressure. They nearly lose the Baby Diva right there. Jackie Boy is res back in, but so is Baby Hugo. So the board's kind of being set right there. I say that. Baby Hugo gets taken down almost immediately. Now J-Wizard just pushing forward, hyper aggressive with all this charge, trying to get a couple of right clicks in there as well, though they of course would not be right clicks on console. It's just the term, you know. I don't know what else.
We all know it. We all know what you're talking about. Three from the car here though.
Oh, that's one of those moments where you can tell that we don't have sound because we totally missed Hikaru just unleashing hell right there on that McCree. Picks up 3 big picks, and now they'll throw in the grab as well, and they're surging forward. Revenge of the Troglodytes. As this point is close, there's the contest is still there. Hikaru does polish off a Diva, but there's not enough to stop him from bringing this one in. Slightly less time in the time bank, but a very convincing attack there from the Troglodytes.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on with Nexus there. They seem to just trickle in some of those ultimates. You kind of let through the high noon in and let that go, and then you kind of just threw the Diva Bomb in. You really would have loved to have saved those for some sort of a Shatter Bomb or something to give you a little bit more like pressure. I don't know what they were trying to do there, but like that kind of cost them a lot of that pressure, because when the ults started coming back at them, they didn't have much to respond with. Corbeck.
They did not, but it was the Troglodytes with their backs to the walls right there, pushing back and holding on, digging their heels in and not giving up. That's the kind of pluck that we have seen from them for most of the evening. Now we see them on attack yet again, not switching up too much right here. Not going to try any cheeky hog stuff either, I don't think. Successfully put that to bed.
Yeah, you found what worked there. You got yourself to the end. You've got the minute. You got the OT. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But they are going to try and fix it, maybe, and switch this Hanzo in. I do like it. Jackie Boy's Hanzo wasn't too bad. We saw it a little earlier. And J-Wizard on this Zarya really was a difference maker. I'm going to be honest. That was very, very big for getting it across to sea. So I think those are the right checks. On the other side for Nexus, not much changes either. Looks pretty similar. We'll see if that pans out for him.
You saw the pressure that, or the space that J-Wizard was taking there on that third point, where the entire enemy team just backs up to let them forward, and there wasn't really anything they could do about it. And Jackie Boy just scouting right now, trying to see if there's a Sombra behind. He didn't find one yet, so he'll turn his attention back towards the front line. Yeah, there it is! Found him! Took him a little while, but he got it. Oh no, Vard dies first. and that actually might just signal a bit of a retreat.
Yeah, I think you're right to look for the Sombra, but I think once the Sombra popped and you pulled the attention there, it kind of left Hugo Dupex the chance to kind of step in and just take that aggressive space that they were looking for. But Kevin's gonna get one out the back, and it's gonna slow it up even further.
Unfortunately, Sombra finds Hanzo, not the other way around right there. Jackie Boy does get rezzed in almost immediately. The hack was trying to come in there as well as Carafe does get a big, oh baby, Hugo with 3! Woo! And that'll kill that push, and it is real desperation.
Ooh, the Shatter High Noon. You don't see it often, but when you do see it, it's pretty beautiful. I gotta say, Corbeck. Unfortunately, what's not beautiful is they didn't get it too far. So there's only 1:20 to get it to the top of the hill, I think, is about where they got it.
Yep. The top of the hill. That's all the distance. At 37.53 meters is all that stands between Nexus and their clean 4-0 championship here. And I feel like the team from France wants that one. I feel like that's a distance they can cross.
Yeah, I mean that's not too much. What's a simple walk down the street? Beautiful, taking the views of Havana. You know, put some bullets out there. Maybe get a hack or two. Just take a nice little stroll down the street. Nothing too serious here. But what is serious is what Troglodytes got to do to keep this going. 1.5 minutes is no joke. You can get a lot. A lot can happen in that 1.5 minutes. That's 1 to 2 to 3 fights if you play it right. And they're not going to make any changes. I think they feel confident on that, which. I don't disagree with that choice. I don't know what else you would do here, but I don't disagree with Troglodyte's choice there.
Yeah, we should know too. I mean, obviously the respawn advantage just entirely in favor of Nexus here as well. And that's going to be a telling factor. Every time a member of Troglodytes goes down, especially during a poke phase, we are gonna feel the sharp end of that. And unfortunately, it does appear that my clean feed has frozen here, which is maybe a little unfortunate considering the critical situation that we're in, but it's now 2 dots aggressively fighting each other on my screen as it tries to load back in. And hopefully we'll bring the action back to you. Really building up the drama here, Soab. If we're being honest, right at the bitter end.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about what really, how much is on the line for this to be this in a moment. Oh. Oh, jeez. It looks like the stream is still going, though, Corbeck. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe it's this. Okay. Nexus got it. Oh, I guess that's as soon as we say it's already done. Yeah. Okay.
Well, great job there, Nexus. Solid win. I think we can kind of picture it in our head. So
yeah, I imagine some hammer swinging, some arrows being shot, a hack or two.
Blah 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 blah, and then you know the hammer down and what have you. A lot of excited comms in French, which we can't necessarily imitate for you. But Nexus, with a solid 4-0.
So checking it just from the stream there, they locked it right on. I don't think there was much of a contest there. I don't know what happened, but it looks like they just kind of gave it up and really just let them walk right on through, which is unfortunate. But viva la France, as they say, because Nexus just won it straight through 4-0. There are your tier 4 EU Xbox champions, and I don't know about you, but that was... I'm still kind of taken aback. This was the 3rd seed, Corbeck. This was a team that on paper probably wouldn't have won it. Maybe you go 4-2, maybe you go 4-1 or something, but they did it. They showed they really wanted this, and they put out that energy. They kept that aggression and really did it, Corbeck.
Yeah, and you know, we said at the beginning of the broadcast, it was both these teams' first time competing in CGL. But truth be told, right, when Nexus comes in, they've got players with a history of winning. They're a really strong, solid team, and it's not to knock Troglodytes at all because like they played their hearts out, right? And I think we all agree with that. And by that last defense on Havana, I mean, we didn't see it, but you know, they were at the end of their tether, right? They probably had expended as much as they could to try and create it. But Nexus, I think they clearly deserve this. They are a strong team with a winning track record, and they've made a mark here in their first appearance in the CGL.
Yeah, from moment one, they really came out with that aggression and that kind of power that said that we really, really want this, so we're going to make sure we take it, be it through that brawl comp, those dive comps, the pharmacies that always came out. Every step of the way showed that they were willing to just go in your face and how badly they really wanted to take that spot court.
Indeed, and a well-deserved 4-0 here for Nexus, and that'll do it for your CGL T4 EU final. So congratulations to your champions, the folks from France, Nexus. I've been Korvac, joined here by Shoav with the wonderful Headrammer handling our production. That man does everything, so big props to Headrammer. Thank you so much for all that you do. And from all of us here at the CGL, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to the CGL channel. There will be more Overwatch action coming at you today, but for now, that's all. Have a wonderful evening, morning, wherever you may be.
Take care.